The Jane Birkinification. Am I saying that right? The Jane Birkinification. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabs and I love all things fashion and handbags. Today's topic is a really fun one because we are going to be discussing all the recent trends and micro trends of 2024. I have been seeing a lot of wonderful creators talking about 2024 fashion trends, what they've been liking and disliking, and I was really excited to add my voice to the topic because I love being an observer and an active participant in fashion trends. But I also wanted to bring in the perspective of how I think we can be a little bit more thoughtful and sustainable when participating in fashion trends. So let's get into it. I think one of the main questions that fashion girlies are facing over the last couple of years is with every new trend popping up, you're thinking, should I follow or should I skip this trend? Because it feels like every couple of weeks a new trend or micro trend is popping up, doesn't it? It just feels like so frequently you're seeing a new item of clothing or a new aesthetic kind of catch on and become more mainstream. We have been seeing old trends with a twist, new fully novel trends, and sometimes straight up old trends coming back in full force, like the Y2K style that became so popular over the last year. I think the challenge is, with each trend seemingly having a shorter and shorter lifespan, the thoughtful thing to do would be to create a criteria that kind of guides your shopping journey as you navigate your way through the never-ending forest of trends and micro trends. I sort of wrote down a skeleton form of how I want this video to go, but I think I will be deviating and elaborating on my thoughts a little bit more organically throughout this video. But if you ever see me looking around, it's probably because I'm looking at my notes. So for the purposes of today's video, I wanted to give a definition of microtrends versus trends. From my understanding, a microtrend is a trend that is very short-lived. It could be anywhere between 2 weeks to a couple of months, but it is usually shorter than a season, whereas a trend could be as long as a season and it could go on for a year or two. So an example of a trend would be, for example, sambas. They were very, very popular a couple of years ago, but their popularity, even though it has died down a little bit, hasn't disappeared. You see people wearing them quite regularly and they're still sticking around and going pretty strong. And an example of a micro trend for me would be the patchwork jeans and shirts and things that was within the trend of the Y2K aesthetic. I started seeing a lot of people wearing patchwork pants or jeans, which was really pretty. I feel like a lot of them were vintage. But then when I started seeing so many fast fashion brands hop on the trend, I started seeing these everywhere. And then just as quickly as they came, they went. I haven't seen them on anyone anymore. So that was an example of a microtrend just off the top of my head, but there are plenty more that we're going to be discussing throughout this video. So for today's video, I have made a 4-point criteria list of everything that I consider and think of before I decide to hop on or skip a trend or a microtrend. Hopefully this helps you with your thought process when you're deciding if something is for you or not, but let's get into it. So my number one is it thriftable? Can it be found in a family member's closet, in your sister's closet, your mom's closet? I borrow things from my family members all the time. Sometimes I just swap with my sister. Sometimes I go into my husband's closet, my mom's closet. There is no shame in sharing. Also in the same category, is it a DIY possible project? For example, the Jane Birkinification. That sounded so right in my head, but coming out, it doesn't sound correct. Anyway, it was basically an aesthetic that was inspired by the way Jane Birkin carried her bags, the way it looked so lived in, so loved. It had stickers on it, it had charms on it. I think it had like anything that she would use or cherished dangling off the bags, off of her Birkin to be exact. And a lot of people found that very inspirational because people are kind of over having the perfect designer bag that just looks completely brand new, not a scratch on it, not a tear, not a wear. I feel like that is such a cool aesthetic, but it's only cool really if it's the stuff that you already have at home that you're adding onto your bag. It kind of defeats the purpose if you're hopping onto Amazon or Temu, I don't even know, and you order a bunch of charms and you just dangle everything off of it. Sure, for a second it might look cool, but after you actually look at it, you might get tired of it because these are not things that you've accumulated over the years. They don't really have any significance to you personally, and that defeats the purpose of Jane Birkinification. I can't say this word at all. Oh my goodness. That sort of defeats the purpose of having a lived-in bag, a bag that really represents your personal style and your aesthetic. Other trends and micro trends that I think are perfectly thriftable and DIY-able are bows, because because you don't really need to buy bows. I have had bows added to my bags and my clothes that I did not pay for. They came on chocolate boxes that my husband gifted me, or I found one at my parents' house that I have no idea where my mom got it from. If you know, you know. Some moms hoard really pretty ribbons in case they're ever gonna gift something to someone and they need to add a little bow on it. I went straight to her drawer and picked out a few of the pretty bows, and I asked her, can I borrow these for a while? And I just added some red bows, white bows, the ones that don't have any logos on it, and I added it to my bags. That was the best use of it. There's no way I'm going out and paying for bows. Are you kidding? Some actual styles that I think are very thriftable because the trends come and go year after year are polka dots, lace, whether it's a lace top or skirt. I find them everywhere. I think they're so easy to find. Midi skirts. Some of my favorite skirts are thrifted. I find so many nice vintage ones either from Facebook Marketplace, thrift shops, or sometimes if you don't want to look at thrift shops, you can go to curated vintage shops. Their prices are not that bad. I have found so many cute slip skirts that I think are quite Carrie Bradshaw-esque, and I can't imagine buying them new. I don't think that they would be as cute or as good quality if I bought them new, honestly. Going back to our list, Y2K inspired items, 90s minimalist looks, all those things are quite thriftable. One thing that I remember I thought was so easy to thrift was long denim maxi skirts, because last year they were so popular and I really wanted to give it a try, but I didn't want to buy it new. I was looking far and wide. I couldn't find one on Poshmark or in our thrift stores around Vancouver. So what ended up happening was I was like, I just want a kind of casual maxi skirt, and I went for a vintage cargo skirt that kind of delivered the same thing, you know what I mean? Like outfit wise, styling wise, as far as I'm concerned, it sort of does the same thing for me as a maxi denim skirt, and I got so much wear out of it last year and this year, and I didn't have to purchase it new, and that felt really good. Okay, last thing that I want to add into this category is blazers. I don't think there's any need to buy blazers new because firstly, prices for blazers, at least for a good blazer, are so high, upward of $200 to $300. I don't think you can find any like nice oversized, nicely tailored blazer for under $200 or $300. If you look at J. Crew, Club Monaco, Banana Republic, all of their blazers are so expensive and they're full of polyamides, not great quality. But I have found all my blazers, secondhand and vintage, and they are so stunning. They're excellent quality, especially now that, you know, the more oversized blazers are in over the last 2 or 3 years. The oversized blazers that you can find are perfect. All you got to do is just ask for shoulder measurements and the length measurements. You're golden. I have found mine on Poshmark, on Facebook Marketplace. I have even found really nice ones on Etsy. I have yet to purchase them because I already have so many. But I encourage you, do not buy blazers firsthand. You can't compete with the one secondhand because the secondhand ones and the vintage ones, way better quality, way better prices. Don't buy them new. Okay, second item on our shopping criteria list is it easy to style? Think to yourself, can I style this item at least 3 different ways? Or am I seeing this one outfit on this one influencer or on this one Pinterest outfit and that is what I want to emulate? Because if you can only think of one outfit that you can style that item with, chances are you will get the piece, you will wear it that one way, and then it's going to end up in the back of your closet. You're never going to touch it again. For me, some outfits that I've seen that I love, but I just can't imagine how I would style it more ways, were one, the basketball shorts, the workout shorts that girls are wearing with, you know, boots and a nice little top for the summer. I find it very pretty, but one, I don't see it being styled any other way. I can't imagine how else I would style it personally. Same goes for the sports jerseys, the ones that, I don't know, the Brazil one that's really pretty. For an instant, it looks really cool. For one snapshot that you see, the colors are so bright, the style is so distinct that once you wear it that one time, that one summer, you're probably going to get tired of it. You're not going to want to see it on your feed over and over again. You're not going to want to style it very many ways. It's not to say I don't love seeing it on my feed. I think it's very pretty, but I don't think it's the right move for everyone. I don't think everyone can adopt this kind of trend, and that is why it's a micro trend. I don't think it's going to last longer than this summer. In the same category, I think very bright color sneakers are a little bit hard to style. I was a victim of this trend actually. I bought the baby blue color specials Adidas shoes. I wore it with an outfit that I thought it would be so stunning with. I wore it and I was like, yes, this look is so perfect. And then that was it. That was the only outfit that I could try it on with. I never even took the tags off. It was like brand new, but I couldn't return it. I ended up reselling it on Facebook Marketplace, and thankfully someone was immediately interested. But I was trying to be so real with myself, even though I loved it with the outfit that I put it on with. I was thinking, realistically, I'll be ending up holding on to these shoes, and it's such a waste. These shoes are so hard to get in Canada. They're barely ever available in the smaller sizes. And I only know how to style it one way. I'm not that creative with these colorful sneakers. So I already had my other Adidas Sambas that are more neutral, and I let them go. And I think that was a really smart choice, even though it was a little bit heartbreaking for me because I waited so long to get them. Another note, bloomers. That is a mind-blowing trend, is it not? Like, that is, I don't know how people are going to be wearing bloomers as shorts longer than this season. I don't think it's gonna happen. And also, it's not really for everyone. I just feel like it's one of those trends that you're only gonna see online. I've never seen anyone in person in Vancouver, like anywhere in Vancouver, wearing bloomers as shorts, like the little tiny micro bloomers. It's certainly cute. Like, I see it on Reformation models and it looks so cute. I have never been like actually tempted by it because I'm like, I can't walk out with that. Like, I don't, I'm all for self-expression. You should express yourself through fashion any way you like. Like, don't even worry about other people. But if you find yourself thinking a lot like, oh, would I be considered like out of my mind if I walk out in those? Then maybe it is a little bit too out of your comfort zone and maybe it's just not really right for you. But yeah, bloomers for shorts, who would have thought, huh? Third criteria on our list of whether we should follow this trend or skip this trend. Did you hate it at first? And did you only start liking it because of constant exposure from Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest? Because let's be real, if you hated something in the first place and then after a month or two you're like, I'm coming around to this, it's not so bad, it's not such an eyesore anymore, chances are, even if you procure this item, even if you purchase this item and start wearing it, if you actually think back on the reason you hated it, the reason's probably still there. And let me just clarify that when I say hate, I'm not saying that it looks really terrible on other people. It's just when I think of this item as like a definite no for me, I can think of one very specific trend, and that was the micro shorts trend, because I hate that for me. Like, I simply cannot think of any way that I could fit it into my lifestyle. I thought it was actually stunning. I've seen actresses wear it in the 60s when they're like dancing and doing their practices. I think it's stunning when they wear it with thick tights, and the micro short just looks so good. But is it really something that everyday people can wear? Like, there are boundaries to fashion, and I think that once the Pinterest girlies left Pinterest and came out onto TikTok and Instagram and started wearing these outfits outside at cafes and things, everyone started to think maybe these really outlandish and interesting and avant-garde pieces are okay to wear out in the open, and that is actually cool. I really like it. I like that people are taking more risks with fashion and to express themselves in way more out their ways. But at the end of the day, I think if it is something that really speaks to you, it'll keep speaking to you a little bit later too. You don't have to hop on the trend immediately as soon as it drops and as soon as it hits Zara. You know what I mean? I feel like you can wait. If you see a trend and you think, okay, I really like it, it really speaks to me, I just keep thinking and imagining all the different ways I would style it, but let me just sleep on it. Let's wait 4 weeks and let's see if it sticks around, because it's not really justifiable if you purchase it on impulse immediately and then in 2 weeks it's kind of just, like gone again. I haven't seen micro shorts being styled that much anymore. When I look back at the photos that I did see during the time that they were being styled, it's sort of a pillar of the time sort of item. You know what I mean? Like, you see it and you're like, I can tell exactly what month that was trending and people started to wear it a little bit, and then immediately it dropped off and no one wore them again. Okay, the fourth and final item on our criteria list of whether we should buy into a trend or not is it practical, or is it just a super niche item that's only good for a photo and not really for practical reasons? So one thing that I think we can all agree on was that trend from, I think it was 2022, that was like really all over the place, were the micro tiny itty bitty bags that I think started with Jacquemus, and then Chanel had the really, really expensive versions of like those tiny little bags. Sometimes they were just like little AirPod cases because that's how much they just didn't fit anything else. You would think that that bag with that price tag is somehow justifiable. It's really not. And I mean, just as expected, the trend came and went, and now everyone's way more into bigger shoulder bags that carry your whole life. Realistically, it's not that fun to carry a little tiny bag and then also have to carry a tote. I mean, I do it all the time. I still have shoulder bags that don't fit everything. For example, my vlogging camera, my charger, all those things. I need a little tote to go out with as well. But I don't want to, it doesn't speak to me. I don't want to carry a tiny little 2-inch by 2-inch bag. Like, it's just not for me. Another item in this criteria is high heel mules. I love the look of them. They look so stunning, but I have never been able to walk in high heel mules. And I have seen over and over TikToks and reels where I know they're trying to show that it's like, it's literally uncomfortable, and they bring a tote out. They take out their high heel mules, take their pictures, put the shoes back in, the vintage Pradas. They put them back in their bag and then like go on about their business in their flats or in their sambas. And to me, it's like, what are you really telling your viewers right now? Is it that you're simply wearing this shoe for that one photo and then the shoes are back in your bag? Is that really worth the investment of the shoes? Maybe it works for certain influencers, but for me, I feel like I just can't get behind that idea. If the shoes are so uncomfortable and so painful that I can't walk at least a few minutes in, I don't think the shoes are for me. That's not to say that I'm better than anyone else on the subject. I'm just saying that even in my photos, I think I'd rather wear the items that are practical to even the smallest extent. Those super high heel, like vintage mules, that's not it for me. This next one, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I feel like the slick back buns, as beautiful as it is, and it's not a micro trend, it's for sure a trend, it's a longer trend, I don't think it's practical for me, at least for sure, because I get a headache. I get that tension headache from having my hair pulled back. The maximum amount of time that I could have my hair in a slick back bun or any tight updo is maybe like an hour or two before I start getting a raging headache and I just have to take it down. To me, that's not a practical hairstyle. So maybe for a second, if I'm out and I get really warm around my neck, I'll put my hair up in a tight bun, but there's no way I'm gonna sit down and learn the skill to make a really perfect slick back bun, because it's not to say people don't look good with them. I think a lot of people pull them off stunningly, but for me, from a practical stance, I know I get a headache. I know it's not even good for your hair, so I'm not gonna try to learn this skill. I'm not gonna style any looks with a slick back bun. Even if an outfit strictly calls for a slick back bun, it's just not gonna happen. The last thing that I can think of in this category are clothes that you really have to fidget with and style for it to look good. So some things that I can think of are really off the shoulder sweaters. I have tried wearing them in the past, like not this time around when it was trending. I think it was trending like back in 2012 or 13. I was really young and I really wanted to have one of them. They were so uncomfortable. I was constantly adjusting the shoulders because as I moved, it would just slide back up. And then I'd be like, no, 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 it has to be sitting right at the perfect place. So I'd always be fidgeting with it. And then something about fidgeting with your clothes takes away from the beauty of the outfit. I find that if you don't look comfortable and at ease in your clothes, the outfit doesn't look that good. Same with really, really oversized baggy sweaters or t-shirts or blazers that you have to constantly adjust. Otherwise, it just looks like a humongous shirt that you're wearing out of your dad's closet. You know what I mean? I've seen so many people have to pin it and tuck it and readjust it and like put the back in and roll the sleeve up and all those kind of things. If you have to do all that, is it really a practical piece for you? It's a little too much torture and it might not be worth wearing it. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, some trends that I find have been very practical and I'm all for them are kitten heels, because let's normalize good footwear that's not going to be so painful by the end of the night. Kitten heels, yes, thank you very much. I actually love that trend. I think it's cute. I think it looks stunning. It is something that you can keep wearing over and over. It's not something that like next year people are going to be like, ew, kitten heels, like how could you wear that? It's still a timeless piece, but just as timeless as it is a huge trend this year and last year. I think it's been a really strong trend, going strong for the last couple of years. Also, the sneaker trends. I actually love that everyone's wearing more and more sneakers. The Solomons, the New Balance 530s, all these different comfortable sneakers. I am here for it. I'm so happy that this is a trend. And to be honest, that was a little bit of a trend that I hated in the beginning because I was like, I don't know how to style this. My clothes are kind of on the more dressy side. So it was a little bit tougher for me trying to incorporate sneakers into my life. But that was one of the trends that I was like, you know what? I think this is worth it to kind of change my style a little bit, gear it towards more comfortable footwear, because why am I torturing my feet? Like, why am I wearing the worst, most tight, and most high-heeled shoes for what? Like, let's stay comfortable a little bit. So that was something that I was really glad to hop on. And I feel like everyone can agree that comfortable footwear is just one of those things that makes you just last the whole day in a way better mood. You can you can do more stuff, you can smile more easily, you are a better version of yourself. So to wrap up the video, I wanted to just say that I think there is a sustainable way to participate in trends and micro trends. I think that if you can be a little bit of a late adopter, I don't think everyone has to hop on every single trend as soon as it comes up. I think you can sleep on it, really think it through, and think of all the 4 criteria that I mentioned. Is it thriftable? Can I borrow it? Can I do it DIY it? Is it going to be easy to style for you? Is it going to go with more than a couple of your items in your closet that you already own, or are you going to have to buy all new pieces just to go with this one piece that you really want to style? Third, did you really hate it at first, or did it speak to you kind of right away? Did it spark your interest? And fourth, is it practical? Is it comfortable? Is it going to be something that you can wear and not hate yourself while you're wearing it? I have been a late adopter in so many different things. I got my Sambas super late and I love them, and I'm so glad that I waited to get them because it was worth it. Same with my Bottega Veneta mini Jody bag. I waited so long to get them, and I got them pre-loved for a fraction of the price of retail. There's definitely benefits to being a late adopter of trends. You are sure that you like it now. You're sure that it's stuck around. It wasn't a micro trend that just disappeared after 2 weeks. And you got to think it through. You got to save up for it. You got to buy it when you were good and ready on your own time. So that was everything that I had on my list of trends and micro trends that I've been liking and disliking, my 4-point criteria list. I hope it helps you in your future endeavors when you're trying to think of trends and whether you want to hop on it or if you want to skip it. There's no shame in wearing your old clothes and the stuff that you already love that may not be trending right now. God knows I have so many items in my closet that are from when I was back in high school, and I'm still wearing them, whether they are trending or not. So that was all my thoughts on how you can follow micro trends and trends in a more sustainable and thoughtful way. Let me know if this kind of video helps you, and for sure let me know in the comments if there's any other types of videos you want to see from me, because I am always considering what you guys want to see from me next. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, and liking and commenting on my videos really helps me know if you guys are enjoying my videos. See you in my next video. Bye!